Welcome to the ButcherBird Blueprint. My name is Gascoigne Clark, daylighting as Superman, and we're here with episode 2 of the ButcherBird Blueprint, where we dive into the lessons and insights from the brands that we build, the brands that we serve in the e-commerce space in South Africa and beyond. Today I am joined by my two good friends and my guests, the founders of Schnoz Strips and Other Things, South Africa's fastest growing e-commerce brand as of today. Ilan Tate and Kathleen Murphy. We've been on a little bit of a journey so far. We're going to learn all about what they've done, how they've gotten here, and how we built Schnoz Strips and ButcherBird to be what it is in such a short amount of time. So guys, welcome. Why don't you start by giving us a little introduction?
Thank you for that, Gascoigne. Kathleen, why don't you start, ladies first?
Oh, okay. Don't mind if I do. Well, I'm Kathleen. As you know, I'm your business partner in more than just Schnoz Strips. I did competitive bodybuilding for 4 or 5 years. Was a passion.
Badass.
Yeah. And I started my own brand, an activewear brand for women.
The Peach brand.
The Peach brand, yeah. Had a pretty good run with that. And yeah, basically I didn't think that I would ever be an entrepreneur or passionate about it. I just kind of fell into it. But I'm actually really happy to be here. This is great. This is fun.
Epic. Guys, Kat is also, while we are introing, the in-house ads specialist and leader for ButcherBird. She's the brains behind Schnoz blowing up in the way it has done this year and leads our ads team across Meta and Google. So pretty epic. I'm glad that we have you.
Yeah, and I feel like you guys would be nothing without me.
We would be nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, Ilan.
I'm Ilan. I started in a marketing company, which did really well. And then a bunch of failed e-com brands, which obviously taught us a lot of experience. And then Schnoz Strips was actually an idea that was rooted between my brother and I about 1.5 years ago, but we never pursued on it until about 6-7 months ago, where I knew I was going to get fired from my job and I knew I had to find a plan B. So we wrapped up the bit of money that I had saved and we bought first initial bunch of strips, bunch of packaging. It looked completely different to what it is now. As you know, it was Alex Hormozi's face.
Stuck on the bottle, yeah.
we quickly
Very
had to pivot from that because we knew we were going to be sued quite fast, especially if we wanted this brand to become a household brand. We never had money to roll over ads as well, so it started. What people say an overnight success wasn't really an overnight success. It's been a crazy 2 months, 3 months, and then it was 3 months of a lot of grit and grut and shitty leading up to that.
Well, and it's continued. It's been now like, wow, how long has it been since Schnoz officially launched? First packaging?
First pack.
Like
Since the repackaging, the rebranding.
No, from the very beginning.
Very beginning, we started in December last year.
Almost a year in.
And that was, I think the best month we had was maybe like a 20,000 Rand month. It wasn't much money, and that, you still have cogs, you still have expenses, you walk away with not much. So we weren't really sure at first. It was like a touch and go type of thing, but the feedback we had received was crazy. It was really good, and we could spot the market trend internationally. And even though it didn't really show much fruit from the first couple of months, we were like, fuck yeah, let's hone down and see what happens.
Epic. Yeah, I remember when I met you guys, everything was different, and it's evolved so quickly. I think that's a huge thing for Schnoz Strips, is the pace at which you guys moved and then we moved as a team afterwards was just insane. Like, your agility as founders was, I think, what also inspired me to work with you guys at first. Was that, okay, now these guys work damn hard, but also pivot and move quickly. It was like, these are the obstacles, these are the opportunities, we're going to figure out how to get there, and we're not going to sleep until we do it. We've got to change branding, we change branding. We've got to change materials, we change materials. Let's message every possible manufacturer in existence to get the best possible rates and I remember it was fast.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I was gonna say, you say like, oh, it was 2 or 3 tough months. Like in most people's eyes, it's like, oh, only 2 or 3 tough months, but it was a seriously intense 2 or 3 months flat.
Pretty steep.
Yeah.
Pretty steep. And then at what point did you come on board? It was what month? It was in April, I believe, before January.
It was sometime early in the year.
Yeah, March, and then we launched April. Yeah, that was crazy. The amount of from those 2 months, the growth that happened was like night and day. Packaging changed. We were using packaging like tubes before. It's like 36 rand a tube.
Yeah, it's the simple things, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
little refinement.
But I
things
also
that
feel like
really
we
made a huge
didn't know,
difference
like
too.
at first, how we wanted to approach the brand as a whole. You know, like we weren't sure how we would take it or how we wanted to market it or how we wanted to appear. And then once we figured that out, that this is the way we want to approach the market, this is how we want the product to be portrayed. You know, we don't want it to just be an active lifestyle thing. It can be an everyday thing for any reason. Once we knew that, then we kind of just moved at the speed of light.
okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, can you tell us what a Schnoz Strip is?
Do you want to go?
Sure. Schnoz Strip is a thing on my nose. It is made from bamboo silk. It has 3 perspex bands, acrylic bands inside. They want to be straight. When you stick it down on your nose, it naturally creates a lift. And that elevation on your nostrils creates about 30% more airflow, which powers your workouts, makes your sleep 10 times better. For the people that actually track their sleep, I personally don't, but we have lots of customers that do that. They send me their sleep score and they're like, hey, check, it increased. I don't know what this graph means, but I can see there's an increase in it, so it's good. So overall, nasal strips help for your health, your wellness, and it's non-medical, it's mechanical.
Epic. So, Kat, how did you come up with the name Schnoz Strips?
Well, initially, like Elan was all about getting some like really active-y, techy sort of name, like
Gym bro.
like
Air
flex
flex,
strips
bro.
and air, you know, like these random names that a lot of these brands are actually doing. And then I thought of Hostage, which is such a unique name, like especially for the product that they sell. So I was like, what can be the most unique but like memorable name that I can think of? And I was like, a schnoz is a nose. You know, like everybody, I feel like everybody knows that a schnoz is a nose. So I was like, why don't we just call it Schnoz Strips? And he wasn't convinced. Like
You
he
might
sat
say
there,
that that name is a little bit on the nose.
it basically might be a little bit too on the nose. But he wasn't convinced. Like he was like, nah, that sounds bad. Nobody's gonna buy into this. This is just like, and I was like, trust me, it's memorable. He sat on it for like 2 days and he was like, actually, Schnoz Strips. Schnoz Strips sounds good.
Yeah, I think when we created the logo and I actually read it and saw it in words, I was like, okay,
It's clean.
that's clean.
Yeah.
I remember when I first saw it, I was like, okay, obviously schnoz, nose, it makes a lot of sense. It also felt unique. It felt memorable, almost medical. It felt like, I don't know, it made me think of Scandinavian words for some reason. As you see it written out, it like, I don't know, there's something that looks really premium about it. And the new packaging, I think, also represented that, which was really cool.
And I've always been the one to give him really cool name ideas for any of his other businesses. He's always looked at me and been like, name my business.
Our last business was named OG Social Marketing Company. Kathleen came up with that name too. I named it Resocial.
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 It's a terrible name.
Terrible.
Bloody horrific.
Yeah, it's horrid.
It's crazy. We actually had we gained 3 clients with that name, and then they actually, on the call, the guy looked at me and was like, why is your guy's brand such a shitty name? And I looked at Kathy and I was like, okay, let's make it better.
Yeah. Oh, Kat comes up with all of our names now, pretty much. Epic. Okay, so my next question here for you is, as we've grown this ButcherBird thing, this question is how ButcherBird became involved in bringing Schnoz to life. But Schnoz was alive long before ButcherBird existed. So how did Schnoz, more interestingly, lead to the creation of ButcherBird? I can comment on it too, but like, what do you think?
I think it came from the fact that we had, obviously being previous business owners, we had our own issues with those businesses, our own life lessons and struggles that we've already been through, and struggles that we also experienced with Schnoz Strips. I mean, I feel like they're general struggles that you have when you start a business, and then there are the very niche struggles that you have. So from that understanding, I think we all just got together and we were like, we need a space that we can actually help these other entrepreneurs, because we've learned from our mistakes. We know the struggles, and we know how to finesse things. We know how to grow e-commerce brands. And I felt like that was where we aligned very, very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, we solved our own problems first, big time. You guys, when we met, were the e-com experts. My experience was more on the retail side, and we combined that knowledge and we're like, okay, our own brands can fly now.
Yeah.
So they then took off, and yeah, it was other brands then with the same problems, facing the same issues with different agencies. And ButcherBird could really fill those holes.
Also I think the time, we found ourselves, we had no time to expand the business at a point because we had 200 orders a day and we were packing them ourselves. Yeah. So we started looking at 3PLs, and the profit margin at the end of after paying them for the space and that many orders.
So for anyone who doesn't know, what's a 3PL?
It's basically a third-party logistics company, someone that pick and packs your orders, sends it out for you.
And why do they potentially suck?
Their pricing.
Storage fees, fulfillment fees.
They want to take, 10 Rand an order. You have your cost per acquisitions, your profit margins are already small. Once you're doing 10 Rand an order, you're doing 200 orders a month. I mean, it's 100K a month. It's crazy money that you can just go throw away on someone packing it. So you end up doing it yourself, and the biggest issue is you don't have as much time to follow up with the retailers, be on top of those guys. You don't have as much time to create more creatives, do more ads, become a content machine. So we sort of said, shit, it's pretty hard. So at this point in your business, you have to think about getting an office, employees. So you thought you were going to have a little bit of money at that point, and now it's gone because you need to expand, you need to get bigger if you want to not be packing all day and you actually want to grow the business. So I think ButcherBird is solving a very common issue across a lot of founders, that when you're at that pivotal point that you can scale your business and you need to scale your business, but you want to still walk away with a little bit of profit, you don't want to be an entrepreneur, you don't want to put everything back. ButcherBird allows that opportunity too.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know what ButcherBird does, how does ButcherBird solve problems for Schnoz? Through the lens of Schnoz Strips, what does ButcherBird do for Schnoz across its services? If you were speaking to a brand out there, looking at this video, how has ButcherBird served Schnoz Strips?
Right behind us, you can see all the boxes. We have fulfillment over here. Go upstairs, you got the marketing. So we have quite a few channels that we monetize off. We started emails. Quite a few channels that we monetize off of. If we started emails, for example, I mean, you have 3 flows standardly, each have 4, 5, 6 emails in it. That's 15 emails, close to 20. You're putting off 1 to 2 emails every single week. Those emails have to be beautiful, they have to be high converting. It's a content machine on its own. And then you go look at Kat's department, for example, where she's creating ads. She has 20 campaigns, 20 pictures, statics, videos in a scaling, and then you still got to start testing because you got to prepare for the drop off of that scale.
Okay, so hold on. You've got email marketing as a big division.
Yeah, you got email marketing. We got graphics for scaling of ads at an absolute machine level, not just of 1 or 5 or 6 statics, at 50, 60 statics a week.
Okay, so when I met you guys and I was running ads for Boob, I would be running 5 ads and maybe putting a couple $100 a day behind it. I was really focused on retail. Since then, I am now educated, but for someone in the same position I was, talk to me about volume. What does volume mean from an ads perspective?
I feel like from an ads perspective, it's important to realize that your creative testing is everything. You essentially, when you're running ads, you're not thinking about the campaign creation. You should be thinking about content and graphics and video almost daily. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, even when I first started with Schnoz Strip ads, I would be running at least 20 to 25 ads at a time, sitting there doing it myself, which is obviously, it takes a lot of time. And if you don't really know the format and the creation of it, it can tend to get a little bit lost and things can tend to fall off, So yeah, I think from the perspective of how we help business owners alleviate some time and stress and pressure and put it on individuals that are experts in this field. I like to say that we are experts because, we do have our strengths and we play to them. And I think from an ad perspective, a lot of people underestimate just how much hard work and how much thought and effort needs to go into it.
So those two main pillars, right? Obviously, emails is huge, very slept on. ButcherBird pumps that out. Ads management, volume game is just a different level compared to what most people actually expect. And you were doing what most brands would consider big volume by yourself, and it's at least double that now, which is serious. We were chatting the other day, and you were saying if we could do triple the volume we were doing right now, we'd be doing it. If we could test, we're testing at least 50 ads at a time. If we were testing more than that, we would. So it seems like the ceiling for creative testing doesn't really exist now, which is interesting. And most people don't know that, let alone how to approach structuring campaigns for that. So look, just from my perspective, I think the ButcherBird system has allowed us, for our brands and the clients' brands, to streamline that process. Doing it alone is like near impossible. Okay, interesting.
Final pillar, last but not least, ambassadors.
Oh yeah.
You can't go.
Okay, sick, nice. Yeah, ambassadors. So that's a huge thing. I think that's actually the backbone towards everything. So, arranging shoots is nearly impossible. If you need to make those ad creatives, getting the right content, those lifestyle images, it gets near to impossible as yourself. You'll be doing shoots all day, getting models all day. Be very expensive too. So we made deals because it's not a very expensive product for us. So we thought, okay, if we gave out a bunch of packs to a bunch of well-known ambassadors, they just need to make one sale off their page, we'd make our money back, and then they would provide us content that we could use to run our ads, to create those statics. So obviously we have to get their permission first. It's their IP. But if we got the permission and all of that, we use those graphics to create all the ads.
Okay, so for people, like, Schnoz Strips blew up very fast, and I think it was a combination of things. Seriously good ads and ads management, fantastic product, well sourced, good branding, but then the ambassadors that you're touching on was a big part of it. I mean,
it's human psychology. So if you follow 10 people, right, and all 10 people you follow have posted the same product, you want to try it out, you're curious, you're going to buy it too. So we created that brand, that well-known brand online as well, that also we never realized at the time, but it helped the ads significantly because we built this giant warm audience.
okay, what's a warm audience?
Do you have a cold and a warm audience? Warm audience is someone that has seen your brand before, has seen your product before. They kind of in the funnel. Whereas a cold audience is someone that's never seen your brand. They've never engaged with your brand, your page, or anything like that. So when we started, we thought, okay, reaching new people, that's where the money's at. But we started realizing that our warm audience ads had 10 times the amount of reach, and they were converting so easily. And it took us a little bit of time to realize, but we found out that it was such an overnight success because our warm audience already had 1 million people, Yeah. It was sitting there waiting just to be advertised to.
Building the warm audience came from sending out loads of ambassador drops.
And keep in mind, this doesn't work for every brand. If your cost of your goods are 500 Rand, you're probably going to come into a very big loss if you're passing it out like how we did. We could do it because our COGS weren't high, cost of goods weren't high.
Yeah, no, that's epic. When we launched Schnoz Strips, over the course of the first, say, 4 months, how many ambassador drops do you think were done by the brand?
In the last 6 months, there's been over 300 ambassador drops.
300 ambassador drops in the last 6 months. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy reach. Assume each of them have 10,000 followers or more.
Some 10. We had one of the best soccer players in the country reposting us. He had 400,000 followers himself. We've had some pages with 1.4 million followers repost us.
Okay, but people, especially people new to e-commerce or new to business generally, product-based business, feel like that's impossible. I mean, when I was starting Boob, I remember thinking, how can I get anybody to want to associate to this brand new thing, right? But now you've got one of the biggest soccer players in the country repping the brand, posting about it. Did he pay you?
I didn't pay him.
Oh no, you didn't pay him? You didn't charge? It's completely free.
I sparked curiosity. The conversation, he'd obviously seen the brand before. We don't start with the big guys, you start with your micro influencers, your smaller guys. They build a bit of brand recognition, and then you can go for the bigger guys. So at the time I'd reached out, he'd most likely seen the brand already, and then the message is curated to really spark curiosity. to make him want to try it. It's not something you can just go to Discount and go get right now. So the only way that you can try it without paying for it is by accepting our deal. And we don't put them in contracts. We're not going to send him things like that and scare him away. It's guy to guy. It's a cool trade exchange. Review of the product, and you get free product. You get to try something that you would have had to buy if you really wanted to. So they're humans, at the end of the day, they're humans. They're not these crazy figures. And yeah, they have their paid sponsorships, but there comes responsibility with those paid sponsorships. They know that. They have to post 5-6 times a week. They have to do all these different things. Here we are, a brand just going to give them product, and there's no responsibility. Post when you can. And as a big guy, why not? Free product, just a story post, easy.
I also think a nice way to generate that trust factor and that audience is like we did. We were at events every weekend, all weekend. We were getting people to try out product, getting their reactions, getting content from them, because that's more trust factor that you're building. And the more that people see you out and about, and then they're bound to see your photos somewhere, it's also targeting events that aren't just one specific huge event like a expo or something. Running clubs were a huge part of our first success. Not only that, but paddle events. And it's kind of like finding those little events that a lot of people wouldn't take the time to actually go and stand at and promote your product at. Those things really help, and I think a lot of people underestimate just how much hard work that also takes. But it's very important for the growth of your brand and your identity.
And it helped to start with ads, because when you start ads brand new, you're not always going to be in profit from the first week, right? So those ambassadors, these live events, they give you the money that you can utilize to go bigger.
Yeah.
Do the ads.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's interesting to touch on. When you guys started, you started small. It wasn't, you didn't have hundreds of thousands of rands behind you. You didn't have tens of thousands of units. I mean, how big was it when you started? Like, what was the size of this operation?
Literally invested 20,000 rand. That's all I had to invest it at the time. I just had
We just
left
looked
my
at each
job.
other and we were like,
Yeah.
this is the last bit of money we have. We can either eat for the month, or we can invest it in a business and eat for the rest of our lives, essentially.
Yeah, so when I lost my job, I had a little bit of money saved up, and I could only put in 20 because we had to work out, okay, cool, if we really scrape this, we need 5 months to survive, so I have to leave 5 months of living, and that only left us with 20,000 for the business. But it was okay, because it wasn't, they had small MOQs for this product. We could start small. My last business that I tried, that was a horrendous failure. I bought 6,000 bottles of Tongadali. I invested R1 million in product before I sold a single bottle. And I went into this business with that similar mindset. Let's sell 1 or 2 packs. Let's see that we can actually do it. Let's make that first sale, and then let's go balls to the wall.
Get the proof of concept, and then double down.
Exactly. And then when we rebranded and that, we put money to ads, and that it's crazy, because the MOQs were a lot larger with this new supplier. And I couldn't get the money to come up for that. So I reached out to a couple of family members, and they had the money, but they just never believed in the product and never really believed in Kathleen and myself. And then we reached out to this lovely Superman Gascoigne that believed in the...
It's fitting that you're wearing the Superman costume.
Yeah, they believed in the product.
Came to save the day.
Believed in the brand, believed in the founders, and I already known you for like 2 months at the time, and you just popped a shit ton of money in my account. And
Well, little did you guys know at the time that was like all the money I had.
Well, I'm glad that we did something good with it.
Yeah, no, it was good timing, because Boob had just gone into its summer season after 2 really hard years of me grinding away with this sunscreen brand, trying to grow it. And we just got a Dischem deal, and it was such a long time coming. And I'd been suffering through winters with this very seasonal sunscreen product, an incredible brand. But we got this Dischem deal, and I was able to secure some funding off the back of that to essentially grow my base. And the timing worked nicely. I was able to leverage that to invest in Schnoz, give you guys a base, and then we blew it up.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because I was brought up in a home where my dad was like, you do it yourself. Everything do yourself. Can't trust partners, don't have partners. But it's crazy to see what we've done in the last year. It changed my output. I mean, for Schnoz Strips, you remember our previous partner. It's actually what kind of got the idea of like you should be a partner in the brand, you know? Yeah. It was when I was actually telling you the lack of effort. He wouldn't go out on a weekend. He wouldn't speak past 5 o'clock. It was absurd. And then you had the same mindset. You were like, work, 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 get it done, build fast. And yeah, we just fucking loved that. It was cool. Great team, great team.
Yeah, that's what it takes. You, same direction, same ambition, willing to do the work. Like that's the key. There's lots of people with lots of money. Like you said, you had family and people who'd be willing to invest and support you. Like lots of people have lots of money. And whether or not they actually believe in what you're doing, if you ask around enough and you're passionate enough, you can get financial support. Whether that be to survive or for a business, there's opportunities available for money. But to find partners who are willing to do the work is what makes a difference, to actually drive things. It goes vice versa. Immediately with you guys, I was like, oh, you're also up at 1 a.m. with me on call, thinking about what we do next, planning out the strategy for the week.
A commonality that we all share actually is that we've had partners in the past that have left us to do everything and have these high expectations of how the business should be doing and what the rewards, that's the only thing that they're concerned about, is the reward that they're getting from this business and all the hard work. But when it comes down to actually supporting you and helping you as a business partner, they're just not there. And I think that unfortunately, that seems to be a common thread, I think, in anyone's entrepreneurial journey. Is it's very hard to find people like-minded that'll help you push and grow instead of, just wanting the rewards immediately and thinking about how much money they're gonna make. That I don't think that was ever like something we all thought about. I think we were all like, let's just grow this thing into the biggest thing we can make it, We have this dream. It wasn't about like, oh, this is the money goal that we're chasing. Everything else has just been a byproduct and basically an additional extra on top of everything that we've done.
Yeah. It's been cool seeing that also from some of our clients now. Like Chris, for example. Like there are other founders who are really passionate, desperate for partners and a group around them who are going to drive things. And yeah, it's not the money goal. It's am I willing to do the work now, not just get the return immediately.
Yeah.
It's like that is the common thread. Yeah.
And you can be so driven. Your fire can be really, really bright. But sometimes you have those days where you wake up and the fire just don't feel as bright. And it's your partner that kind of puts a little bit of gasoline on it and gets it burning again. And that's why I think if you're a one-man person, you're going to have those burnouts, you're going to have depressions, you're going to go through points where it's like, can I do this, can I not do this? And it's that support that's kind of like, okay, cool, we're in this as a team and we're going to see this through together, let's fucking do it. It makes a difference, it really does.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see what's next here. Okay, change tact, a little bit less serious. What is a funny reaction to the Schnoz product at an event or otherwise that you've encountered? Even like a customer review. I mean, we get tons of customer reviews and complaints and all sorts of things. What's something that comes to mind?
I put a Schnoz strip on this individual a couple of months ago at an event, and I looked him in the face and I said, "What do you think?" And he stared me in the face for about 5 minutes while I stared at him, and he said nothing. Nothing. And then I said again, "What do you think of the nasal strip? Does it make a difference?" And he just continued staring at me. And eventually he just turned around and walked away. It was the most awkward interaction I've ever had.
It was either the most incredible thing he's ever tried or the worst reaction you could possibly hope for.
I didn't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some awkward ones. We've had some crazy feedback. I think you could actually go into that. I mean, we've had fights with people. Not really fights, but like their complaints just don't make sense. It just really doesn't make sense.
I think that's the funniest part is that we can never gauge what the reaction or like why the complaint exists, because they're all across the board. Like you would think that maybe the general complaint would be they don't stick. Half the time we literally get comments like, "This thing nearly ripped all my skin off my face, like how do I get this thing off?" And we're like, what? But then the other day you're answering an email saying to this person saying to you, "Oh, it didn't stick." And you're thinking like, how can it do both of those things.
I think
you know?
the one that baffles me the most when someone just sends, not that it doesn't stick, just it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
work.
it's like, it's really hard because we've had 20,000 customers and all of them have been exceptionally satisfied. We've had thousands of reviews. I mean, some of the top retailers in the country are listing Schnoz, and the head buyers, the whole teams have tried the product and they love it.
They love it.
Yeah.
We got running communities reaching out to us about 10 times a week saying, please will you guys set up and give our runners. And then you get this random person that's like, it doesn't do anything. And it's like, did you put it on your forehead?
Yeah, it's funny. If you could collab with anyone or any brand for Schnoz Strips, who would you collab with?
You already have this well thought out.
You know, we're in a very blessed position to say that we are actually on the verge of really collaborating with two very large brands. The one I sent back the contract today, so I can say it's been signed both sides, so it's official. Planet Fitness is our first collaboration. That is huge. And then the second one is a very, very well-known athletic brand. It's huge, international. They got some of the biggest, most musculous celebrities that advertise it. I don't know if that gives a little bit of a hint, but we're about to get that one over the line, and I think that's, you know, such a small, newish company being in such a blessed position. I can't say would we want to work with any other brands, just blessed the ones we're working with.
We've heard some pretty cool stuff about Schnoz Strips. I think the brand has just gotten started. I'm excited. We have a long way to go. We bring out new products, we bring out new strips, we bring out new colors, new big brand partnerships.
Kitty Strips, the world's first child nasal strip. So this is Kitty Strips. After we had thousands of mothers coming in demanding a smaller strip. It was crazy. They were buying these ones and just cutting them in half. It looked ridiculous. So we went ahead, we bought a mold, we did vigorous testing, R&D behind it to find the perfect shape, the perfect size, the perfect stick, and here we have it. Thousands of moms' dreams come true. The world's first baby/kitties nasal strip.
Epic.
And it's in blue.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like I haven't seen it before, but yeah, this product is amazing.
It is great. You've tried it. I've tried it.
I've tried it. It works. Kids have tried it.
Kids have tried it. They rated it.
Also, have you have a really small schnoz?
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people with small faces and small noses, this kitty size actually works quite nicely. So Schnoz Mini might be on the way soon too. But yeah, if you haven't seen it already, Schnoz Kitty Strips.
We launched mouth tape.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen them yet, mouth tape and Schnoz Kitties are now available at
We just keep
schnozstrips.store.
launching.
Check them out. Cool. And yeah, do you guys have any final questions for me before we head on to the closing segment of the ButcherBird Blueprint, where we're going to play some games?
Let's play some games. We're hyped.
Oh, no questions for me.
I got a question for you. All right.
You didn't really have a question.
I do have a question. Shut up. I should think of it. Okay. All right. Gascoigne, since April, what has been the most significant part of the journey being a part of Schnoz Strips? What was really the biggest highlight?
Okay, biggest highlight.
Meeting us, obviously.
What was the second biggest highlight?
I think what was really cool is we knew we were going to get retail. We knew online would keep pumping. We had the strategy for it, but I don't think we expected it to do as well as it's doing in stores. I thought we had some online virality, but the fact that when Cape Union Mart and Sportsman's Warehouse in the same week told us that this product is moving so well, we need to roll out in more stores, and it's doing so well that our entire category margins have dropped because you guys got a good deal. That was epic. It's like our sales are so rapid in some of the biggest retail chains only after a month that it's brought down their entire category margin. So cool.
That is the biggest flex one could have.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, and we deserved it. You know, I really think we put in the work to get there. 2 million people see our page every month, and that's growing. We've got the best strip in the country. We did the work, we do the events, we still do the events. We've done probably 100 events since we launched. We run tons of ads. We've grafted this thing, and that was like big validation. Like, okay, here's a win, big win. It felt like a strong payoff.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked about that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna play some games. Game number 1 is very simple, 2 truths and a lie, but it is business edition. So on your journey thus far in ButcherBird, dealing with other brands, before we met each other, give me and Kathleen, and then we'll go next and next, 2 truths and a lie, and we'll try guess.
Fantastic. 2 truths and a lie.
if you know, you have to leave for me to answer.
So
Okay.
3 statements, and you guys will guess which one I'm lying and which one I'm
Yeah.
truthful with. Okay, very, very cool. Schnoz Strips is the fastest growing retail brand in 2 of the largest retailers in the country.
Okay, we both know the answer to that one.
Schnoz Strips sold 8 million rand of mouth tape within the first 2 weeks of launch.
We also both know the answer to that one.
We have 4 colors of nasal strips.
It may be the 4 colors, dude.
Which is the truth and which are the lies?
We definitely sold 8 million rand of mouth tape in our first month. Yeah, that's got to be true. No, we did not. We did not.
That's why Superman doesn't have any shoes on.
Superman had to sell his shoes because mouth tape don't sell too good. We're having a tough time. Buy your goddamn mouth tape, please. It's a good product. It helps you keep your mouth closed. It's breathable material. It's a medical grade adhesive. Please buy it. Okay, my turn, because you both know each other. Let me see if I can come up with something good. Before we met, I made 10 million rand in 6 months selling sex coffees. I have been attacked by a bull shark. And
Thought it was about business. What does the bull shark have to do with
I don't know, you gotta spice it up. And I have been scammed in a 4-month over a 4-month project. I was scammed for 5 million rand. 2 truths and a lie.
I know the bull shark one because you told me the story. So that's the truth.
You were attacked by a bull shark?
He did. Yeah, he
That
did.
was the lie. You survived.
You need to tell him the story. It's actually really scary.
the story.
Then the second lie, or the second truth is, I think you got scammed, brother.
I did get scammed. Yeah, we got scammed. The lie was the 10 million rand selling sex coffee. But it was a white lie. We did sell a lot
You
of...
did sell a lot of, I was like debating it. I was like, I don't know.
For not that much, yeah. But yeah, we got scammed. Big project. I think you knew about this, maybe. But 4-month project, you think you know a guy.
Don't we always?
You really think you know a guy. You do your due diligence and you get pulled into a huge scam and then they flee the country.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But the bull shark was the truth. It never got me though.
Yeah?
Clearly.
So it was like a bit of a, not a big manly story, surviving a bull shark attack. But we did get attacked by bull sharks though. While scuba diving, they came after us and the dive masters had to prod them away with spikes underwater. And they got us out the water really quickly. They were very aggressive. Apparently it's not a good idea when the dive masters start throwing lots of chum into the water when there's lots of bull sharks around you.
Who would have thought?
I'm also actually a survivor of a shark there. Yeah, my finger. Yeah. I had 3 hybrid sharks, a very big fish tank. It was a 1,000-liter fish tank. I was obsessed with fish.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. 4 hybrid sharks. And when I used to fucking feed them, because they got really big. When I first got them, they were like, see a good idea, they were like this size. But because of the tank was so large, they're only supposed to grow to this size, but they ended up growing to like this size. And motherfuckers developed little teeth. And they were like super blind, so if the food dropped to the bottom of the tank, they would starve. So you would have to catch the food in front of them, like while they're making their laps. And so I put my finger there, and then I would create some like movement. I'll tap the one, get him, no, I'm gonna feed them now, and I'll normally throw the food, and while it's still floating down, they would grab it. And the one time he mistaken my finger for the food, and he like locked on it. And I was like shaking this little sharky around, it's locked on my finger. It didn't like, it like blood started piercing, it pierced through, but like not to the degree of that I could pull my finger off. And I started like hitting it in the head with my other finger, and then eventually let go. Needless to say, I gave the sharks away 3 weeks later. I found them a good home, because those motherfuckers were growing really fast, really big. I'm sure the new owner doesn't have a finger.
I mean, I saw a guy's finger got bitten off by a baby crocodile.
You watched it happen?
Yeah. We were doing like a tour of like a reptile park, and I was like really young. And the guy was showing us a baby crocodile. And he was saying how sharp their teeth are, and like that they're so sharp they can actually bite your finger off. And this guy was like, no, Beth, they can't. I can show you right now. So he stuck his fingers right in his mouth. And it just shut its mouth and it bit his finger off.
That was like probably the guy's biggest regret ever.
Have you seen that video of the girl? She's, I think it's somewhere in Australia. This like a croc master lady, and she's in this pen with this crocodile, and the croc grabs her arm,
Yeah, pulls her in.
and starts doing a death roll.
Yeah.
And just going ham.
Yeah, I saw that video.
And this little kid, her kid is like standing on the side, screaming like, "Mom, Mom!" Just getting death rolled by this crocodile.
Did she survive?
I don't know.
Oh my God, you didn't follow up with the story?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's gnarly. You can see this. I bet loads of people have seen this. Okay, what a nice way to end our podcast.
Well, I think we should play the final game, game number 2.
Okay, yeah, let's play again.
That game.
Okay, this is the brand build-up game. So we are going to, the two of you actually, I'm going to come up with a prompt for a brand or business idea, and you guys are going to, as quickly as possible, you've got 60 seconds, I'm going to time you, you're going to come up with a concept for a brand and how you would position it and how you would launch it. Is that right? Brand name, tagline, and marketing approach. I'll let you guys do it. All right? You tell me when you're ready to go.
So you're gonna give us a product, and we're gonna tell you the shoot when you're ready.
Okay, so what would be interesting? You know what I'm going to do differently? Instead of giving you a product, I'm going to give you a problem. And you've got to come up with a product-based solution to solve that problem with a brand name, tagline, and a route to market. Okay. Which will be interesting. Thinking of a problem is rather difficult.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. What is something I really struggle with, which you guys can fix?
Besides the fact that you're blind.
Okay, I've got a good one, and this suits both of you quite well actually, because you're both fitness space, ex-bodybuilders. The problem is people who struggle to gain weight don't want to eat as much, but there's lots of mass gainers out there and they suck. So how are we going to solve this issue? 3, 2, 1, time has begun.
Awesome. So mass gainer is made, the main component is maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is that what actually helps you gain that weight. It's very dirty calories, let's say that.
Yeah.
maltodextrin is a very cheap product. It's never been properly branded or popularized. And it's also always sold out for the 3 or 4 brands that sell pure maltodextrin. So instead of targeting as a mass gainer, target it as maltodextrin. You can come in a cheaper range than
You have
mass
thought
gainers.
about this.
Oh, he has.
Okay.
Unfair advantage.
Yeah.
And yeah, target all the people that aren't knowledgeable about it. You got a very big community of people. It's actually as big as a community of people trying to lose weight. There is people trying to gain weight. However, you have thousands of weight loss products, but you don't have thousands of weight gain products.
Okay, you got 18 seconds for brand identity.
Boom. So we would
What
call
is
it.
the
Cat,
name?
cat, cat.
What is the name?
No,
Call
name-
it,
name
we'd call
genius.
it Fat Sticks. The slogan is going to
large.
be
That's
get
what
large,
the
be in
slogan will
charge.
be.
And then the quick marketing approach, we're going to choose 5 ambassadors that are really skinny, that are starting the gym journey. Follow them,
Time-
get a lot of
time's
branding,
up.
start ads, boom, product, branded.
Okay,
sold.
so recap. In order to solve the problem of people struggling to gain weight, we're going to launch Fat Sticks.
Fat Sticks.
And how,
I feel like that's counterproductive.
how do the sticks play into this? Why sticks?
Because I don't know, it just fat itself
We're
never
running out
worked.
of time.
Fat on its own just never worked.
What if we called it Fat Boy? Get large.
That's why I said get large.
I like the get large.
Get large.
Get large.
But like large A-L-R-G or like L-A-U-R-G, like large.
Lord.
Get large. Get large. Beautiful premium packaging. You're gonna identify 5 key skinny ambassadors. I thought that was brilliant. You take
Yeah, the guys and girls that are on their like journey where it's like that's really difficult for them to
weight
pick up
gain
weight.
journeys. Yeah. That'd be really
And they don't
cool.
want to like stuff themselves with meals all day long.
Yeah, epic. And taking maltodextrin, which you say is sold out everywhere.
Yeah, you go look at brands. It's very relevant. It's a very cheap product. You had brand.
Yeah, because I've always struggled that with mass gainers, like these big tubs, and you charge an arm and a leg to get yourself like a tub of this stuff.
And half of them are like 10
It's
servings
the
for the whole
protein.
tub.
Yeah, it's the protein you're paying for. So maltodextrin. is
Okay, so you could
calories.
go pure mass gainer, calories, get large,
Eat some chicken. You don't need mass gainer. Just literally maltodextrin and chicken.
maltodextrin chicken.
The diet of champions.
Diet of champions.
All right. Well, that was
And calories. Eat rice as well on top of it.
that was episode 2. You've met Ilan and Kathleen, my partners in ButcherBird and Schnoz Strips, and got to know them a little bit better. We will see you in the next episode. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.